Dhanvantare Namaha. Namaste all. National Ayurveda Day wishes to all. Today I would like to discuss on the motto of National Ayurveda Day, which is Har Din Har Ghar Ayurveda. So, how to implement that? That is what I would like to explain or discuss today. Ayurveda is, as you know, it is Ayush and Veda. So Veda is knowledge and Ayush is life, it's knowledge of life. It's not just knowledge of life, it is knowledge base. It's a fundamental science. It's a natural fundamental science. And this, its source of knowledge of life or life processes is Ayurveda. And knowledge is not mere information or experiences. Information is, I know so many herbs, I know its usages, I am using so many herbs mentioned in Ayurvedic science, I am taking so many foodstuffs, I am taking Shami Dhanya, I am taking this sort of food which is mentioned in the science, which is mentioned in Ayurveda. So I am doing Ayurveda, I am doing certain practices which is mentioned in Ayurveda. So these practices or all this food and regimen cannot be considered as Ayurvedic scientific practices. They are just information only. Information is, biology gives information. It is not, it cannot be applied. Information is, you are knowing the nutrient values of foods or foodstuffs. You know how food is getting digested, what all enzymes are produced. You know how it is excreted, how it is getting absorbed, how it is going to nourish tissues. So you know so many things, but those are only information, or your experiences cannot be considered as knowledge. Knowledge is, you are identifying with cause-effect relationship, or you are identifying with logics, reasoning. When it is done, it is scientific knowledge, or true knowledge is cause-effect relationship of natural phenomena. When you are knowing, that is science. So scientific knowledge is lacking in today or present era. Information is propagated as science, isn't it? So many practices, so many herbs, usages of herbs, so many grandma's practices, so many folklore treatments are being practiced as science without logics. So it cannot be without logics, it cannot be considered as science, and Ayurvedic science advocates so many things. You may think that it's an ancient science and it needs to be updated, and then only we have to do research and find out what is the updated things to be done in the present era. But it's not like that. We have identified in Ayurveda, Ayurvedic science, the environmental factors or external factors are identified with their nature. Nature is identified with their functional entities. These functional entities will be producing certain actions or effects in the body. With that, we are identifying the nature of external factors. And it is abandoned, and opposite functional entities are used to reverse a condition. We know, means in Ayurvedic science, it is explained that how external factors are imparting their effects in various tissues, various systems in different bodies, and how bodies are responding to those external factors. So these so many intrinsic, intricate phenomena that are happening is identified with, or knowledge of those things are identified with logics. That is science. So knowledge of these fundamental factors, knowledge of how to examine all those factors like patient, cause of the disease, how to examine the medicinal potency, how to select the principle with which we can reverse the condition and restore the health, how to apply that in that unique environment of that subject. All these are knowledge, very specific and in-depth knowledge is required to apply this science. Ayurveda is a natural science, it's a fundamental science and also an applied science. So this cannot be practice with certain informations or experiences. So one has to develop sense in what all foods they are taking according to their body status. They have to practice certain regimen, their thinking, their conducts, everything is to be made sense, or it should be with logics. Then only it can be scientific. So Har Din Har Ghar Ayurveda, I am using herbal toothpaste, or I am using herbal shampoo, I am using the foodstuffs which are mentioned in Ayurvedic science, will not make Ayurveda in every house, or Ayurvedic scientific practices, it will not become. Even alcohol consumption, people are saying that I am taking Ayurvedic alcohol which is mentioned in this science and it has to be taken like this, it is amurdopamam. People are saying like that, but it doesn't make any sense. One should not take alcohol and one should not take madagari dravyas. It is specifically mentioned. But whatever they are seen in textbooks, they think that, means people think that, laymen think that it is Ayurvedic science is what advocates. But Ayurvedic science advocates logics to make sense in their food regimen, context and thinking. So myself and my wife, Dr. Krishnan, have developed a methodology to identify in the present day diseases, which is titled Science-Based Evidence-Based Ayurveda. So SBEBA methodology, authorities have to take up, government has to take up, and by implementing that, we have exemplified with a project Hastalamba. Hastalamba, in COVID period, we have started a free online treatment, it's a first aid program. We were not using any, means we were not prescribing any medicines, and only by modifying their food and lifestyle as well as medicated water is advocated, and it is reversed within 7 days, and people were taking benefit of this Hastalamba program all over the world. So SBEBA has proven its scientificity by curing viral infections or infections of any kind, not only viral infections, infections of so many different kinds of viral infections, bacterial infections were cured without any medicine, with the science alone or by applying scientific principles. So people became self-confident as well as self-realized, and in future viral infections also they are able to reverse their pathological status by adopting this scientific principles and by knowing their body. So more important is knowing their body and applying the Ayurvedic principles or scientific principles in the most pertinent way is the only solution. So I request the government, central and state government, to take up the scientific methodology SBEBA and making sense. This is not common. This uncommon sense in science is exactly Ayurveda. I pray God and I request the authorities to take up SBEBA as mainstream treatment. I pray for universal well-being. Jai SBEBA, Jai Ayurveda, and Jai Dhanvantari.